and welcome back to another weekly live stream where we talk about the UK property market and UK property prices. And in this week's stream, we are going to go over what Zoopla have been saying has happened in the last 4 weeks, as well as always going through any questions that you guys have about buying a house or the whole house buying process. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Also give the video a big thumbs up to let YouTube know that we're doing something good here. And today, as I said a minute ago, we are going to be talking about Zoopla's house prices, and we're also going to touch on Boris Johnson's latest idea of a 50-year mortgage, which can be passed on to your children. So if you want to know a little bit more about that and my thoughts and stuff like that, then please stick around. But first and foremost, we're going to get into the Zoopla figures, and just going to say hello to the few people that are in the chat already. Ben and Paul, welcome. Thanks very much for coming back again, guys. Always a pleasure to have you here. So yeah, we're going to go over what Zoopla have been saying recently. The last 4 weeks has happened in the UK property market. We'll see if it matches up with what Rightmove, Nationwide, and Halifax have been saying over the last few weeks. And yeah, we're gonna go through those figures right now. So everyone, welcome. Please give it a thumbs up. Let's get into the report. So let's get this up on the screen now. Here we go. So I'm going to read through this report. We may stop and pause between, have a little chat and discuss what's on there. Again, if you're noticing anything similar or different to what this report is saying, then please pop it in the comment section. We'll go through it all and share everyone's experiences. So this is by Nick Hopkirk. She is one of the sort of analysis at Zoopla, and the key takeaway she's wrote in this piece is that house price growth is starting to slow, with the property prices remaining broadly unchanged last month. So I think the report saying that the house prices have gone up just 0.1% since May, and that's according from their figures. So I think the last stream we've done, house prices are up just a little bit more than that. So most of the big companies, banks, etc., are agreeing that house price increasing is starting to slow down. As the cost of inflation continues to bite, property prices are showing the lowest monthly price since December 2019. So 2019, that was just before everything started to go a little bit crazy around the world. Buyer demand is still 40% up on the 5-year average, but is starting to gradually decline. So sellers should act quickly to capitalize on recent gains. So what I get from that last bullet point is that Zoopla are predicting that they don't think house prices are going to continue to go up. Now, they've stopped short of saying anything different, as in if they're going to go down, but we'll go into the report and see if they say anything else. But let's just see what the chat have to say so far. Oh, hello, everyone. EJ, welcome back. Mia Play, welcome back. Some regulars. Zara, welcome. Arwin, thank you for coming back. Abaid, welcome back as well. Everyone's saying hello. Fantastic. I'm loving the community we're getting here. Absolutely loving it. So thank you so much for joining us. And if you did miss the start of the stream, please give us a thumbs up if you can. That'd be fantastic. We're up to 9. So let's get that number up into some double figures if we can, guys. Right. So how's everyone been doing? How's your house buying journey going so far? Have you viewed anything? Have you offered on anything? Have you had any problems, any hiccups, any mortgage questions? Please pop them in the comment section. Mark, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Everyone saying hello to everyone. I love it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, Zoopla are saying that if you're a homeowner, then now you should capitalize on now being the best time to sell before things possibly start to level out or maybe even drop. Let's see what the report says. So the average UK property price has remained broadly unchanged this month, rising by just 0.1% since May, according to their latest figures. That's the lowest rate of monthly price growth since 2019. I think we've just said this. The quarterly growth is 1.4%, the slowest since March 2021. Year on year, property prices are still up, according to Zoopla's figures, 8.4%. But that figure has come down from 9.2% in April. And the rapid house price growth seen across the UK since the start of the pandemic has finally peaked. So is that a good thing? Is that a good thing? I will come back to that. So the report goes on to say Demand for property still remains strong at 40% above the 5-year average. But that demand is beginning to decline week on week as the market returns to a more normal condition. What is normal at the moment, though? That's the key thing, isn't it? That is the key thing. We've got well, a normal market seems so long ago for me, like over 2 years ago, that or 2.5 years ago, when things were, I say normal, but what is a normal market? That is the question. That is the question. Jane, anyone else knows quite a few properties coming back on the market after falling through? 3 already this week in my area. Yes, this is something I'm noticing a hell of a lot. And a few people who've watched the stream on Catch Up have commented that a property seems to be going sold straight away and then coming back onto the market after 2 or 3 weeks. And what is the reason for that? And I can only imagine that there's mortgage problems, sellers been unable to find, so the buyers withdrawn, or potentially we're having some down valuations happening. And a lot more down valuations are starting to happen at the moment. I think I said in the last stream, probably 1 in 100 of the properties I've sold that require a mortgage have probably been down valued. So that's 1 every sort of 3 months we might get a down valuation. But that seems to be in our community, our first time buyer and second time home movers, Jane, that down valuation is becoming maybe a bit more of an issue. So anybody else agree with Jane about more properties coming back onto the market after a few weeks? Yoon, Wimbledon and Lee Everett combo, not a bad Wednesday night. You could be looking like that, are you? Thank you very much. Thank you. Arwin agrees. Yes, we've seen the same trend for several months now. That's very interesting. Whereabouts are you, Arwin? Whereabouts are you? Wayne, welcome to the channel. Heidi, thank you for the advice the last time you were on live. The valuation came back today as satisfactory. Fantastic. Excellent stuff. Congratulations. So hopefully your mortgage offer will be out very, very shortly, Wayne, and you can come back next week, maybe Saturday if I do another Saturday live stream, and let us know if your mortgage offer's out and how you are progressing. I know everyone here does like to hear your good news. Share your good news, share your worries, and we can all get together and sort of be optimistic and help you get through it. But yeah, well done on that one. Well done on that one. Alex, welcome back. Hi, Lee. Welcome back, my friend. Steve Fish, highly thanks for all the insight. Hey, you're more than welcome, Steve. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to do. As I say on most streams, sellers have estate agents helping them buy properties and navigate the property journey, but buyers have very little in terms of help that can guide them through the process. And that's what this channel is all about, helping people buy properties and having an unbiased person help them. Even though I am an estate agent, after 6:30, I'm here to help you guys. Oh, and also more properties going to auction, having tried several. Do you know what? I had our local auctioneer into my office today, giving me his brochure of what he's got to sell at auction, and he said he's got 48 lots, which is the most he's had ever. That's a record for his company. 48 lots, which I don't know if it's a lot, but to him and his company is. So, and we did wonder what kind of properties were going to auction, and we noticed it was a lot of leasehold properties or rather large houses. We're talking 6, 7, 8 bedroom houses which weren't selling, or the leasehold properties possibly because they had rubbish leases with ground rent doubling every 15, 30 years, those sorts of things. But yeah, I'm noticing a lot more is going to auction, but it tends to be the stuff which is difficult to sell in a normal on the open market. This isn't a normal market. But yeah, I've noticed that as well. So, what else we got here? Hi, Lee. I always watch your videos. Thank you very much. But first time I've joined your live chat. Thanks for thank you so much, Essen. Thank you so much for joining us. Great that you could join the community and be a part of the chat. We're looking in Central Wales area. That's gone up a hell of a lot, isn't it? Hell of a lot, Wales. Is an estate agent now saying how much is the vendor willing to sell for? Not really. The agent works for the seller and they're paid to get the best price possible for their seller. What you might find is an agent might give you an indication of what the seller's expectations are, but they really shouldn't tell you unless the seller's come back with a counter offer. Say you've offered 250 on a 275 grand house and the owner's come back saying, no, I won't take 250, but I will take 265, then that's absolutely fine. But if an estate agent is giving you more information than that before you've offered, then it could be there to help you. It could be there to help you, or they could be saying that because they know their seller may take less. and they want to get their seller the most money as possible. But yeah, generally an agent won't tell you too much. But this is where if you build up a rapport with an estate agent, they might lead you to a rough indicator of what an owner is looking for. So build up that rapport with a few local estate agents and get a nice relationship going. That will always help you. Always help you. Hi Lee. Hi Give Me Food. Welcome back. If you want to renegotiate the price, do we go through our solicitor or the estate agent? You can do both. But what I would suggest is a solicitor might not get round to it straight away because you're one of many files. First of all, I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing that you need to renegotiate. Maybe you could elaborate a little bit. But yeah, I would first of all go to the estate agent, give them the reasons why you are looking to negotiate, whether that's a poor survey or the valuations come back lower, and explain that it's nothing personal. It's a case that you can't afford to pay more because of this new information rather than you won't pay more. That's always a nice line that I like to use with my sellers. If we have somebody who can only offer a certain amount of money, they wish they could offer more, but they can't. But yeah, I'd go through the estate agent in the first instance, but also let your solicitor know that you are looking to renegotiate, just so they can sort of mark it on their file that there may be a price change coming up in the future. But definitely go to the estate agent first, give them the reasons, back it up with evidence if you can. Give me food, and then yeah, fingers crossed for you. Fingers crossed. Lee, do I need to have a level 3 building survey if property has had an extension? Was extended about 5 years ago. Thanks. I personally wouldn't have thought so. If it's been signed off by the council, whether it had planning permission, if it didn't have planning permission, then you want to make sure it does have planning permission if it was needed. If it was built under permitted development, which is where you can extend up to 3 meters out without planning permission, then you want to make sure the building regs are there, that the property's been signed off by the council. But generally, the extension is probably the newest part of the house. And if it's been done properly, been signed off, will probably be the most structural sound in theory. I can't remember how old the rest of the house was. I think you was here on Saturday, wasn't you? I can't remember what you said about the rest the rest of the building was. But yeah, I think the extension should be sound if it's been signed off and done properly. But if the house is over 100 years old, 150 years old, then it may be worth getting at least a level 2 survey, home buyers, possibly a level 3 if it's even older. If you do hear any squeaking, it's the chairs. It's nothing. It's nothing else. It's nothing else. Mia Play, what's your thoughts on first-time buyers buying a piece of land? Now, I was meant to do some research on the Help to Build, which Boris Johnson announced a few weeks ago, but I'm 9 days in of a 12-day on the stretch working week, and I didn't get enough chance to research that. I managed to have a look a little bit at the 50-year mortgages, Mia, but if you can buy a piece of land which has planning permission, then there are things in place like the Help to Build scheme, which Boris Johnson announced, that will give you an equity loan to help build the property, providing you've got X amount of deposit. But if you can find a piece of land with planning permission, which won't be cheap, and then you can get an estimate on how much it's going to be cost to build, you can theoretically save a lot of money. But finding that land and being able to build it relatively, I don't want to say cheap, but as cheap as possible with the material prices going up at the moment, I don't know quite how beneficial it would be. But if you've got architect's drawings with planning permission, then a builder should be able to give you a quote. But yeah, if you can find a piece of land where you want to build with planning permission, then yeah, I would love to build my own house. Absolutely love to build my own house. But yeah, I'd have to employ a lot of people because these hands are very much a desk man rather than a builder. So Steve says, I feel the tables are turning. Made an offer under asking price on a flat in London, Greenwich, which have been the only one so far after 3, and we have been the only one so far after 3 weeks. Hoping owners are going to accept eventually. Well, yeah, I mean, anything's been on the market, as I've been saying for weeks now, 3, 4, 5 weeks, they are perfect ones to start making offers on. Okay. So as we go through this report, Zoopla is saying that the average price reduction of properties at the moment is 9%, which is around £24,000 on the average house price. So 24, 25, depending on what report you read, but according to Zoopla, about £24,000 is the average reduction of properties at the moment. So yeah, certainly worth asking the question. Certainly worth putting in a few cheeky bids on properties which have been sticking on the market for 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 weeks, and seeing how you get on. The worst they can do is say no. And they may say no now, but if they then don't sell in another week or so, they could come back and look to accept your offer. So it's not all over if the owner says no straight away. If you haven't found somewhere and they have to come back cup in hand saying, please sir, would you like to buy my property, then then you might better find yourself a bit of a bargain. Alex, or can the estate agent say what the current... Yes. So an agent can't lie about what offers they have or anything like that. They may give you an indication. If you was to offer on a property and they've got a higher offer, they may say, look, we have had a higher offer than that, so you may want to offer more. They can do that. If it's a sealed bid instance where everyone's got to put in their best and final offer by a certain time, they shouldn't be advising you on what offer to put forward. No one should get any unfair advantage, but they can give you a rough idea if there is an offer on it. I mean, if I've got a house or a property on the market that's got asking price offers, I will say to a potential buyer, if you want this, you're going to have to go over asking price. I'd even probably change the marketing to offers in excess of, rather than just a normal price, and people can offer on that, just so people know that we've got that sort of level on it. And if they want to buy it, then they should probably come in a bit more. Excuse me. Essen, hi Lee, is the market still going strong? Is it still a seller's market? Also, would you advise to buy now or wait? So, you're new around here. Everyone in this stream who's a regular, and I'm sure they'll back me up in a minute, will say, if you can afford to buy now and you can buy the house you need, then buying now is, I think, probably the right thing to do. If you can afford the house you need now and it's on the market, buy it. If you can't afford the house you want, so like I say, most people want to skip the first house and go straight to the 3-bedroom or the larger 2-bedroom, buy the family home first, rather than taking that smaller step, buying a small house or a small apartment first and go straight into a larger house. If you can't afford that larger house, buy the house you need right now that's going to suit you for the next 5-6 years. Build up that equity, start paying off your mortgage rather than paying somebody else's mortgage in terms of rent or staying at parents, what have you. But I would say that now is probably a time as a buyer where you've got quite a bit more power to get some money off. Now, I only say that because a lot of people are coming to my office on with other agents saying they haven't sold. Have we reached the peak of the market? And all in all, I think we have reached a highest point of the market at the moment. We may see some months where they may go down a small fraction of a percentage, but not merely enough to outweigh the potential increase in interest rates we're going to keep on seeing for the rest of the year. So while inflation is going up, we're going to be seeing interest rates in the Bank of England raising that base rate, and mortgage lenders will raise mortgage rates to sort of keep it in line or above the Bank of England base rate. So I think I saw a piece a couple of days ago where the average 2-year or 5-year fixed mortgage was 2.6% in December, and it's now 3.6 or 3.7%, and added an extra, I think, £1,500 a year onto somebody's mortgage. And if it goes up another percent, they reckon it's going to add another £2,500 a year to somebody's mortgage. So you've got a 5-year mortgage, that's £12,500. It's going to extra cost you on a £250,000 house. So you have to hope for quite a bit of a market drop to counteract that extra increase we're going to be getting in interest rates. So I would buy now if you can, Essen. I'm sorry I've drabbled on a little bit on that particular question, but yeah, if you can buy now and the house you want is about now, then buy now, get a 5-year fixed rate mortgage, and stick with it. EJ helping as always. Yes, level 3 will highlight the permissions for the extensions for the conveyances, but your searches will too. Talk to our trusted surveyor, as might advise structural engineer if worried. EJ, I'm going to make you a moderator. How do I do that? Hang on. Just catching up the chat. Oh, stop. I'll do that in a minute. You are getting moderator privileged, EJ. I don't know what it does. I've just clicked a button and you're a moderator for my channel. So congratulations on the promotion. But yeah, she's right as always. Claire Jeffries, welcome to the channel. I'm not sure yes, I do. I recognise your profile picture. Welcome back. Harley, congratulations on the wedding. I wish you both well for the future. If you remember me from a previous live, I had my offer on my first house accepted in March and still waiting. Congratulations. I do remember you. Yep. So, and thank you very much for wishing me congratulations as well. Be 4 weeks now, been married. It's gone bloody quick. But yeah, so March, average house is taking 150 days to go through from offer accepted to exchanging contracts. So March, April, May, June, July, you potentially got a couple more months before you reach the average time frame for a house sale to go through, Claire, at the moment, Claire. So how far are you along? Have you had your mortgage offer? Have the searches come back? Is it more the chain taking their time to sort itself out? Let me know. I say let me know or not, don't I? So channel is doing well, Lee. Well deserved. Don't work too hard. Thank you very much. Since doing these live streams, the channel has literally grown by like 200-300%. The watch time's gone up. The views have gone up. So that's enabled me to be able to monetize the channel. So if you do want to send a super chat, that'd be more than grateful. Or buy me a coffee. Then that just means I can sort of put some more money into buying equipment and stuff like that, or it may even go towards my mortgage qualification. So yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's going very well. So thanks for saying. Claire, the estate agent thinks August we should complete. Yeah, taking so long. That's strange. I mean, August is about right. With March, April, May, June, July, August, sort of 6 months, 5-6 months. So that is the average. Don't be too disheartened. A lot of people, some in the stream actually as well, have had bloody long buying times, and there's a lot of excuses out there. COVID's an excuse, lack of staff, searches taking longer, not enough people doing what they need to do, and it has slowed things down. I probably have that conversation how long things are taking 3 or 4 times a day. This morning, my first phone call at 9:05 was from a vendor. I was on the phone for 23 minutes while they were complaining at how long it was taking, and it was only agreed the end of May. So we're sort of 2 months in, and they're already getting a little bit sort of itchy feet and worried about how long it's taking. So, but yeah, if you're anywhere near ready in 5 months, you're doing better than the average person. Yoon saying, thank you, E-Jane, as always. Alex, my agent told me not to tell the people viewing regarding the highest offer, but some people viewing did cheekily try and ask. Worth a shot if a seller is showing you around. Always worth asking. If a seller wants to share that information, then they more than welcome to do. But as their agent, we'd always recommend passing them back to us so we can negotiate the best deal. But obviously, we're not after the best deal for the vendor in this channel, apart from Jane, who is our resident home seller and home buyer. But yeah, you can always ask the owner. James, welcome back, my friend. Nice to have you again. Regular as always. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Vicky, welcome to the channel. We bought a house last year, £340,000. Now I've seen it selling under 400k. It's a 2-bedroom house in Chingford. I think it's crazy how house prices have gone up. I know. I mean, £60,000. It's not bad in a year, is it? That's not bad at all. It is crazy. And they wonder why people are finding it hard to buy a property right now. I don't know about you, but my wages haven't gone up enough to factor in a £60,000 increase on my borrowing power. Some people have, so well done you, but certainly not for me. Alex saying thank you to Jane. Thank you very much. Alex saying good luck. Here we go. The interest rate rise, sickening. It is, isn't it? It is, especially if you're buying a bigger property. Interest rates are, getting more and more ouchy. Yep. Listen, thank you for your advice. No, thank you for coming. Thank you. Alex saying thank you. Thanks. There we go. The moderator. I don't know what power that gives you, Jane. I've got no idea what it does. Hopefully it doesn't mean you can take over my channel and do stuff. Oh, hang on. My phone has decided to talk to me. Right. Steve. You can wait for a crash if you're a cash buyer, but I bet not many first-time buyers are. No, there's not many first-time buyers who have the ability to buy a place cash. A lot of people, I probably wouldn't advise putting all my cash into one property anyway. I'd probably spread it around over a couple. Buy a house for yourself, and then if you have any money left over, put that as a deposit to a buy-to-let or something like that personally. But I don't think many people buy I don't think many young people would be able to buy cash, and if they did, I'd probably advise them to sort of spread that that money over multiple properties rather than putting it all in one. Get some income coming in, but we're not an investment channel. So, would you be able to share some tips on how to reach out solicitor in formal ways for deceased estate? So, welcome to the channel, by the way. So, are you looking to possibly get in on a probate sale that hasn't hit the market yet? I don't think any solicitor will give out any information like that. They tend to seek local estate agents first to go and do probate valuations. You could probably speak to a couple of agents and ask if there's been any probate valuations that have been and done, which they anticipate coming onto the market soon. But what you probably want to do before making that phone call and asking that question is build up a rapport with that estate agent or those estate agents. So rather than just coming straight out the bat saying, "What have you got for me?" build up the report that they know you're a good buyer, that you've been in contact with them every couple of days or something, asking how they are. All things like that will help you get a phone call first if a property like that does come onto the market. Oh, where are we? Hi, Cheryl. Welcome back. Got a mortgage offer last week, so congratulations. Hayley, feeling fed up of waiting for vendor to find, but nothing beats the house we have offered on so far. Buying a house is not fun. There's a quote for you. Completely correct as well. Mortgage offer expires in December, so we'll put the pressure on nearer the time. Yeah, so you're in a bit a rock and a hard place sort of position there, aren't you, Cheryl? So first of all, thanks for the super chat last week. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would give it a few more weeks. So if your mortgage offer expires in December, we've got 5 months, 4.5, 5 months before that runs out. You might not be able to get it extended, but you might be able to get it extended for a short time. But you don't want to really be moving next year, do you? It takes long enough as it is. You want to be moving as sooner rather than later. So I would put the pressure on the estate agent. So call the agent every 3 or 4 days to see how that vendor's search is going. Make sure the agent knows your mortgage offer runs out in December and that you've read the report that average house sale is taking 150 days, which would take you to December. And maybe ask the question if the seller would be able to vacate if needed. That's always a good one. Ask that question. See if that's something which can be done if that seller can vacate. Hi, Claire. I'm in the same boat. Offer accepted in February and dates are finally being mentioned. So February, March, April, May, June. So 5 months. There we go. We're getting to that 5 month sort of stage. They're starting talking about dates. So this seems to be quite the normal 4 or 5 months for house sales to go through. So if you haven't found somewhere yet, then this is what we're experiencing at the moment. 4 or 5 months wait from offer accepted to start talking about dates and exchanging contracts. Claire, we are already just the 4th house at the top we're waiting for. So the chain's quite a bit above you. So yeah, that's a bit frustrating. Your agent can speak to that agent at the top there. You can ask them what they're outstanding. Your solicitor won't have direct contact with that solicitor at the top there. So the agent will be able to call the agent at the top and find out how things are going and update you. Don't be scared to ask that question. Don't be scared to ask that question. Claire, I feel you're 100% sold in January and still going. Resold last week as buyer dropped out 2 weeks prior to exchange. So Jane was so close to exchanging, and unfortunately buyer pulled out, but put it back on the market and resold bloody quickly. So we're all very, very happy about that. Very happy about that. But what that does mean is that her new buyer has got to start the process all from scratch. If they were a cash buyer, they could potentially not have searches done or buy the previous person's searches. But if their buyer does require a mortgage, then unfortunately those searches they've done all those months ago will be out of date and not be able to be used. But Jane, I think it's going to be here for a good few more weeks while the house selling process goes through. I hope anyway. Em, welcome to the channel. 5 weeks since we applied for our mortgage. So frustrating when they come back with new questions every 5 or 7 or 8 days. This seems to be documents they already have and have skimmed over. So are you using a broker, Em? That would be interesting because sometimes if you go direct to the lender, I know a lot of people have had to resubmit details and documents to their lender. Whereas if you go with a broker, they tend to, I don't know, I don't hear it as much that brokers keep requesting more and more information that they've already had. So yeah, let me know. Let me know if you're using a broker or going direct to the lender. But yeah, I'd imagine you're probably going direct from the lender. If not, you've got a pretty crap mortgage broker. Yeah, let me just take a bit of water. Bear with me. Gets really hot in this room. Really hot in this room. Penny Pap, welcome to the channel. Hi, do you suggest a 5 or 10% deposit with Help to Buy? The more you can put down, the better. Obviously, Help to Buy runs out. I think you've got to apply for it in October this year, haven't you? So you've got 3 months to do that. The more money you can put down, the better on anything, personally. If it's in your bank with inflation going up, we're at 10%, then your money's going to be worth less and less the longer it's in your bank. So if you get it into a property, at least then you'll get any house price increase going up and down if it does go down, but generally house prices do go up. I'll put it in the bank, put it in the property, and therefore your mortgage will be a bit less. And you have less to pay back after the 5 years. That'd be my advice, Penny. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Let's see how many likes we've got, guys. So we're up to 26 likes. I'm sure we can do a little bit more than that. Come on, guys. Let's get more than 26 likes. Right, what else we got? E. Jane gets half the super chat, mate. I did say last week that any moderator job is unpaid. Doing it out of the goodness of their heart. EJ, that's what worries me. We haven't exchanged yet, so worry things could go wrong. Unfortunately, Claire, there's got to be a degree of trust between everybody in the chain. We don't have the Scottish system where effectively making an offer and 2 weeks later being committed to buying that. All you can do is have your fingers crossed and to just hope that everything goes okay. Try not to worry too much. 1 in 4 or 5 sales goes wrong on average. You just got to hope that it's not you. But just like with down valuations, the odds are firmly in your favor. They're always in your favor in terms of down valuations and abortive sales. 75% of sales go through. 75. It's a huge number. You'd take those odds any day of the week rather than 50-50, wouldn't you? So be positive. Be positive, Claire. I wouldn't take over, I promise. I could do as good a job as you, and we all know it. I can delete any private messages like this. Excellent. Yes, we do sometimes get some raunchy messages come through to the channel, which yeah, I try to keep up with to delete, but it's good that Jane can hopefully jump on that for me if I do miss any. Blanca, welcome back. Hi Lee, seeing more and more guide prices in West Yorkshire. So annoying. Are you seeing this trend in general? Certain agents like Hearts and William H. Brown in my area, they tend to do guide prices, and tends to be when they're reduced more so than when they first come onto the market. It's something which I personally don't like doing. I like to give a buyer an idea of what my owner's expectations are in terms of a one-figure asking price. But some agents do that guide price 300 to 330. Now, if I'm a buyer and I see that, for me, if I offer £301,000, the owner should accept it because it's in between that guide price. But generally with those guide prices, the owner is looking for the higher end, and they use guide prices to advertise the property at a lower price to give it more exposure, to get more people through the front door, more offers, bidding wars to get to that higher price. So I don't personally like it, and nor do you by the look of it. Very annoying. I think it's annoying as well. And in my office, I don't have it. I don't, unless another agent that we're on a joint agency with does it, I'll have to match it. But as a general rule, I won't market a property or take on a property on the market where we do a guide price. Yeah, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it helps the seller or the buyer at all, to be honest with you. I think it's a bit of a gimmick. Do you know how much on average people pay over the asking price? That's a difficult one. 5 to 10% is generally where we used to offer 5 or 10% below the asking price. It seems to have flipped and gone 5 to 10%. But I've known, well, some people in the chat give me food have offered well over that sort of money and they've still been beaten. So it really just does depend on how much interest the property's had, how new it is to the market, and how greedy the bloody vendors are. So yeah, a few different things. But where I am, where it has gone over asking price, it's either like a smidgen, we're talking a couple of grand, or 5-10% over, just to give you a rough idea. Claire, what is the chain situation? Have you tried putting the pressure on or questioning the estate agent? Sorry, Lee, for an update. No, you keep going. I'm just going to crack on. You do what you got to do. You got new responsibility now, Jane. You got to take it on the chin, do it. Cash buy secured this time. I held and let them view it at the last minute. Excellent. That should go through hopefully quicker then. Alex, where are we? Lee, what would you do if one of the houses you sold falls through before exchange? Do you tend to ring the people that previously offered on the house and see if they're still interested or back on the market? So my first thing is to go through the people that offered. Sometimes before it goes back on the market, if I've got time to do it in between appointments and stuff like that, I'll go through the people that did offer. Then I'd go through the people that viewed it, which we weren't able to get feedback on, or who didn't offer but were interested. And then it would go back on the market on Rightmove and on our own website and Zoopla and all those bits and pieces like that. So that tends to be the general workflow. You call the people that were interested before, whether it's because they viewed or offered. You would then, again, if the agent's got time, go through their applicants, their database, the people they know. So if you've built up that rapport, I keep banging on about with an estate agent, if a house that falls through that they know that you're looking for, they're going to call you first if you've built that rapport before it even goes on Rightmove. So as an agent, we try to do that. It's the easiest way to sell a house is to call people you know have already viewed it and offered on. And as agents, we like easy deals if we can help it. So yes, that would be what we would tend to do, but not always get the chance to do so. That's why by constantly calling the agent or emailing them, let them know that you are still looking at what you're after. They'll be able to get that sorted. Mine did. It's much easier getting back to exactly that. Gerpow, I think I'm saying that right. I do have a habit of butchering people's names. So just recently pulled out for sale of a house we liked. Oh, what happened? What happened? Was it downvalued? Something wrong with the property? Or what? Or did the seller do something that annoyed you? Let us know. Let us know. At our second viewing, the seller told us that the chimney fell down through the living room when the builder knocked the doorway wider, and it cost $6,000 to fix. Do we need a level 3 survey? First and foremost, you want to make sure that chimney has the correct support. If they've knocked out, did it fall through? The whole chimney fell down. Wow. Obviously, that doorway where that doorway was could have been more structural than just a chimney. So you want to make sure that that probably be more structural engineer to make sure that's been done correctly, and to see if there's building regs were needed to widen that door and take that chimney out. Having a chimney fall down doesn't bode well that whoever done the work knew what they were doing. I'm sure Jane will probably back me up on that. If a builder's taken out a doorway and not realised that's supporting a chimney, then I would have some quite alarming questions for the seller and their agent as to what work was done, how it was done, and if it was signed off by the council. But yeah, level 3 would probably advise you to get a structural survey, a structural engineer report, because they're not engineers. They do know a lot about a lot of everything, but yeah, they'll probably recommend getting a structural engineer around. A level 2 survey generally is fine for most houses, but if there's anything specific which you're worried about, then a structural engineer is going to cost a bit of money, but for peace of mind, it could save you thousands in the future. But yeah, I would personally, look at a structural engineer at that, and to make sure the work was done properly, make sure it's been signed off by the council if it needed it. Whose mortgage broker has been asking for paperwork that they've already sent. I would look to give them a kick up the backside, A mortgage broker that keeps coming back for more information that you've already provided every few days is not one which seems very organised. And if I was your mortgage broker, I wouldn't do that. If we try to renegotiate, how much less do you advise? Think of going £20,000 less, but fear they'll get offended and not want to sell us anymore. What do you reckon? Depends how much £20,000 is as a percentage of the price you're paying, Yoon. It's if you're paying 400 grand, then 20 grand in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot of money. If you're buying at £200,000, then it's obviously 10% and quite a lot of money for the owner to look to renegotiate. But if you can give a constructive reason as to why you're looking to renegotiate, whether there's problems with the property or it's been downvalued, then you've got a legitimate reason to ask that question. Again, if you're just doing it because you feel like you've overpaid, then the owner may get offended and reoffer, but they may not. So it's all about how you frame it to the estate agent. If there's a genuine reason why the property price needs to come down, i.e. due to work or down valuing, you've got more chance of it being accepted. Not guaranteed, but if you're doing it because you feel like you've overpaid and can't really justify why you're now coming at £20,000 less, then it won't get looked on too well. But strange things do happen. Strange things do happen. I know if you are renegotiating, and I really hope it's nobody in the chat that you're trying to renegotiate from. But yeah, I'll say fingers crossed for you. Fingers crossed. Go, Paul. How important would you say it is to location in the grand scheme of things? Found a great home, almost perfect for the family, but the location is out of the way of schools. Now, location is the one thing you really can't change on a property. You can change almost everything on the inside and the outside if you've got the time, money, and patience, and obviously need planning permission, etc. But you can never change the location. You can't put your house anywhere different. That's why I have a job. If people could move their houses, I probably wouldn't have a job. So I would go location. If it is key to be near those schools, then don't compromise on that. If you don't mind that little extra trip away from the schools and facilities, and it can save you money and it's perfect, then go for it. People are having to compromise. It's just what thing you're able to compromise on. Now, if it is location, I mean, the fact you viewed the property and like it sounds like you are willing to compromise on the location of where you're looking. So I think you've already answered your own question there. But location for me on this house when we bought this was key. We had a lot of choice, so we were quite lucky. But now there's not as many houses on the market in general. So if you can find the perfect house which is a little bit further out and it works for you, then go for it. But if you feel like you're going to resent living in that location, and you can't compromise on that, then keep looking. But obviously prices are still going up a little bit and interest rates are going up as well, Gerpel. So only you can answer that one. But if you need to compromise on something, do it on something which you're going to be able to live with, because obviously buying a house is a big commitment. It's a 25, 35 year commitment in terms of mortgage. It's got to be right for you. It's got to be right. But obviously you can always move in after when your fixed term rate ends as well. Jane saying a level 3 survey is going to highlight current issues and grade 1 to 3 on severity and cost to repair. My survey, level 3 surveys, don't actually give costings. It might be worth having a look on Google to get a copy of the survey. I don't know whether my local surveyors just don't like giving prices or not, but I've not seen a level 3 where they actually give costings. Obviously, may differ from area to area. AJ, hi, welcome to the channel, my friend. Give the channel a like, or the video a like if you can. That'd be fantastic. We're currently sitting on 36, which is, I think that's a record for during the last year. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. What else we got here? Mia Play, always here. Any idea how to find out who's the owner of land? It's a piece of land in a residential area with houses on both sides, but neither neighbor knows who owns it. Trying to find something off the market. So if you know the postcode of the property, you can go on Land Registry, pay £3, and that will give you a copy of the title deed, which will be the name and hopefully the address of the owner. If it's a piece of land in between two other houses, it could be council owned. Is it being maintained, Mia? If it's being maintained, then chances are it probably is council owned. But if it's been overgrown and whatnot, it could be somebody of the original developer's land, which they weren't able to build on then, so they've just sort of left it. But yeah, if you go on Land Registry, .gov.uk, I think it is, make an account, pay £3, and that will give you the name and company. Or also name or company who owns the land and a potential address where you can write to them. So yeah, that's always worth doing, checking Land Registry first. SpaceX, welcome back. Holly, I texted you last Saturday. I had a mortgage accepted, but it was downed by 20k. I contacted the estate agent to negotiate a little, but she threatened me. She has other buyers if I don't want to. I don't like hearing that. I don't like hearing that, being threatened. But in the market we're in at the moment, the agent probably isn't lying that there is a queue of people lining up to buy it. If it's a popular type of property which has a lot of people interested, they may not be like. But if one surveyor is valued at 20 grand less, then there is a chance that another surveyor from another buyer will do exactly the same. So it's up to you whether you want to call. I mean, did the agent say no, they have other buyers, or did they actually put that to the seller and the seller come back saying no? That's important, because the agent shouldn't just discard your concern like that. They should approach the seller with your concern, and then pass that on, and then they come back to you what the owner says, rather than just trying to shoot you down. Let us know. Let us know. SpaceX. Oh, that's anyone else getting mortgage on it will face that. Exactly. My mortgage advisor said she thinks she didn't even contact the vendor regarding negotiation. Yeah, they should do that. So you've got to find money to make up the difference. 20 grand it's a lot of money. I think you need to put in writing in an email to the estate agent, let them know what's going on, and say, look, the project's been damaged by £20,000. Could you pass this on to the owner to see if there's anything they can do? I look forward to your reply. And then you've got something in writing that you've sent to them. If they don't come back to you, then you can make a complaint to the ombudsman, and take it from there. But I would be, so look to get it in writing so they can't ever say that you haven't told them about it. And I think your mortgage advisor could be right. The fact that they've just battered you back straight away, I will certainly ping an email to them, and get that in writing that you've asked that, and then wait for their response. Ask them to reply via email as well, rather than phone call. Hi Lee, would you suggest paying for a radon test on the property? And would you be concerned if your conveyancer search came back that the property is a 1 to 3% risk area? I don't have to worry about radon where I am, so I'm not particularly au fait with radon tests and searches on properties. If I'm remembering from the brief couple of cases I've had that involve radon, it's normally near mining communities and stuff like that. I mean, a 1 to 3% does sound low, doesn't it? But I don't know what the average is in your area, what the average level is. If there are other houses that are being bought and sold down that road, and other people are taking on that 1 to 3% risk along with other lenders as well, then I can't see that being a massive problem. If it was, I don't know, over 25%, I'd probably be a little bit like, there's a 1 in 4 chance of whatever radon does. But yeah, I don't know enough of it to advise on that, D. I'm sorry about that. I'd love to be able to sort of advise that on a bit more, but I can't. I'd hate to misinform you, but 1 to 3% does sound low. Anybody else who's got any experience with radon, who's buying a property or sold a property? I'm looking at you, Jane. You can pass on some advice to D Ghost. That would be fantastic. Right, Penny Pap. Is there any good options for Help to Buy a savings account? There is no ISAs anymore, sadly. Yeah, so you've got I don't know. I've got a Help to Buy ISA, which I didn't use, which has got some money in, which I think I transferred over to a lifetime ISA, which I can put towards my pension, I believe. But yeah, I don't know much about that, Penny. I've not had to look at it for a little while. So Martin Lewis is probably a good one, money saving expert, to help out on that. Claire, apparently everybody is ready, just wait on the mortgage offer at the top of the chain. So the agent said, give it a few weeks and we should be ready to exchange and complete. So what we want to know there, Claire, is if the mortgage survey is being done. Now, as you go higher up the chain, that process started, each property started maybe 1, 2, 3 weeks later than when you started buying your property. So they are going to be a little bit further behind. If there's 4 in the chain, so that's 2 extra properties above you, the one that you're buying, that could be potentially a month or more since extra that you need to allocate for, but when doing your timescale. So if they're waiting just for the mortgage offer, if the survey's been done, then hopefully it's not too long. But yeah, if you know if the survey's been done rather than it just being applied for or something like that, then you'll have a bit more of a better idea on what's going on. Jane's saying location is 100% the best thing. Learned it the hard way. Yeah, I say everyone's different. I didn't compromise on location, but I was able to pick between a few different properties in the areas and the location that I wanted. So I didn't really have to compromise on that. I probably compromised on having a downstairs loo, which I really regret now. 3 kids and only 1 loo is a pain in the backside. Let's get a bucket. Wayne, hi Lee. With my valuation coming back satisfactory today, do you have an average time from this point for the sale to go through? We have no chains either side. So in an ideal world, you'd look around 12 weeks would be what I would say would be an acceptable time for that sort of chain to go through. But as we've said before on this channel, you're looking around 150 days is the average house sale, but that will be with an average chain as well of 3 to 4 houses in it. So, and as the guys in the stream have letting you know that it is taking a bloody long time at the moment, but there may be a few people that get it through quicker than 12 weeks and 5 months. But I would allocate for your chain 12 weeks before you start talking about dates. It could be sooner, but it could be a lot longer as well, Wayne. So yeah, hopefully it's the shorter end of that rather than the longer end. Paul, you're absolutely welcome. They don't give cost specifically, so I just indicate it'll be a significant cost. Right, yeah. So we're both on the same wavelength with that. So my phone keeps buzzing. I'm wondering if Boris Johnson's resigned. It's going to be only one standing, isn't he? Oh, breaking news: Boris Johnson sacks Michael Gove. You heard it here first, which is really frustrating because he's part of the Housing and Levelling Up Minister, which when you're an estate agent and the housing minister and community secretary keeps changing every 3 to 4 months, it's bloody hard for any decent policy to be made on housing and planning and stuff like that. So it's yeah, I wish from a selfish point of view we had a housing minister that stayed in the job for longer than 3 or 4 bloody months. Sorry, personal rant over. But you speak up against Boris, you get sacked. Bear with me. Where are we? Must be area specific. Mine has highlighted a new garage roof as level 3 due to cost and fully replaced, so it's not repairable. Okay. I'm sure there's probably a general guide for what they've got to give a level 3 and stuff like that. But yeah, significant cost. I mean, it depends what you want to do. You can put felt roof on a flat roof kind, which is relatively cheap, carbon fiber, or pitch it, which could be a lot more money. Lee, could you give your thoughts on let to buy? I'm looking to rent my home and buy another. The rules regarding stamp duty: do I need to sell my rented home within 3 years to reclaim the money? Anyway, so you can only claim back if you sell your main residence. So you can, well, actually, if you're buying a residence, if you're renting out your current property and buying a main residence, I don't think you may need to pay stamp duty. Depending on your solicitor, some would see that as you're buying your main residence that you shouldn't have to pay additional stamp duty on. So I had a friend who had a rented property. He bought a property and didn't pay stamp duty. So yeah, I'm not sure if the solicitor cocks up or what, but yeah, you may not have to pay stamp duty on that. But yeah, if you were to pay stamp duty, you would need to sell to claim back the difference. You don't get it all back, just the extra 3% or 5% charge that you get on top of it. Radon risk is one for the solicitors and something to declare on home insurance. Solicitors would advise best. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know enough about radon. Good evening, Sylvia. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. If you haven't liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. Wayne, you are more than welcome. More than welcome. Thanks, Lee. To be fair, looking at the map yourself, half of London is an effective area. We may need to put a bond in place for Seek for. Yeah. I mean, Seek for solicitor will know. If you're using a solicitor local to the property, they should know the ongoing risks of radon. I'm not sure if they're. I mean, if there's a 1 to 3% chance, and they've asked you to do a radon search, how much more information is that going to give you? I don't know, but I think your solicitor will advise you on what to do. But remember, they're also covering their backside, so they'll tell you to get everything you can if they had their way. The land is well maintained. So if it's council owned, what that means, would it be possible? But yeah, my local council have a page where they list land that they're looking to sell. So over the area that I live, which is, it's not massive, but the district council is quite big. They have about 6 or 7 plots at any one time that they're looking to sell with prices, and they give you contact details on how to go forwards with that, and and potentially buy it. So yeah, I would personally land registry first, find out who owns it. If it is the council, go on your local council's website, type in search in land, and then see what comes up. There should be a page there where they're offering council-owned land for sale if they are wanting to sell it, that is. But I mean, if it's one of those which is being maintained, if you can take that off their hands and it saves them money, they can get council tax coming from it and stuff like that, then I'm sure they will. D saying, thank you, Jane. You are more than welcome. More than welcome. I'd love to, if you do build a house, you got to send us some progress pictures and stuff like that, because I'd love to see that. I'm sure everyone would love to see your house building journey. Your house building journey. Right. Shall we talk about this 50-year mortgage now? What are your thoughts on that? So we've got some people that would go for the 50-year mortgage. 46, 47 votes, 50 votes, 51. Blimey. It's shot up. So 81% of you guys would not have a 50-year mortgage. 18% would. Interesting. So I personally, when I've been reading up on this, have been intrigued by what sorry, my wife is watering the plants. The whole concept of it. So this 50-year mortgage that Boris said was not off the table is so that your children can inherit your mortgage when you die. I don't feel too confident or happy in leaving my children a debt they had no say in whatsoever. Now, my mortgage has got 30 years left to run on it. And I was a little bit scared taking out a mortgage over 30 years, thinking, I've got to retire at some point. But I don't think I would be comfortable in leaving my children with debts. Let me know what you guys think, because for me, it just doesn't sit well. It just doesn't sit well. Hi, Tick. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. I prefer I think 35 years, I think probably the max you can get at the moment. There might be some 40-year mortgages which you can get, but 35 years is becoming certainly the norm. Certainly the norm right now. Sue, hi Sue. Welcome to the channel. Nice dog profile picture there. Hi Lee, we are cash buyers and no other people in the chain. Vendor solicitors is the same as ours, but a different branch. Should this speed up the buying process? Theoretically, it should. It should. Doesn't always happen though, Sue. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes the solicitors, although they work for the same company, different branches will have different ways of doing things, which could speed up and it could slow down things. So theoretically, there should be no bitching between the solicitors that they haven't done this, they haven't done that. That should be quite more streamlined. Hopefully being able to deal with things in the internal post rather than pigeon post and stuff like that. But hopefully that will speed things up for you. That would speed things up. So going back to the 50-year mortgage, I've been reading up on it, and I say it's something which I think Japan have been doing since 1995. They've offered 100-year mortgages, which can be passed down to your children and grandchildren. And I say it's certainly something I wouldn't feel very comfortable in leaving my children. I think I'm own a house and hopefully have it paid off, so when I die, they've got some money to have to do what they want to do with. And I couldn't dream of leaving them or lumbering them with any debt at all. And I think a lot of people here would not be looking at a 50-year mortgage. 82% of you saying no, and 44 likes. So thank you very much, guys, for liking the channel. This is going to be a very brief intermission where we add an advert, because the computer is telling me to add an advert. So here it is. I don't know when when that's on, if it's on now or not, but I'm just gonna have a sip of drink while we're doing that. I think I've crashed my computer. Jane. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Right, not sure if you guys can see me here. I'm not sure what's happened there. My computer decided to crash. So if you can see me and say yes, then please pop it in the comment section. There's checks internally to make sure the cases don't overlap. Solicitor's code of conduct has rules to make sure there's no conflict of interest. So probably about the same speed. Yeah, they've got to have a special thing to say that they can act on both sides, but generally two different offices can work absolutely fine. So sometimes it can speed things up, but sometimes you can't. Everyone have different experiences with that. Sounds like the banks are keeping their claws into you for as long as possible. Yes. Well, you think if your mortgage is over 50 years, then the equity you're building up is going to take longer, and the more interest you're going to pay as well. So it's going to take you obviously 50 years to pay off the mortgage, and you're going to pay more interest over that time. If you need to sell the property, is there going to be any exit things? Can you transfer it to another one? Do you lose money by breaking it? There's so many things which needs to be looked at on that, which, I think there's risks for all involved on a 50-year mortgage. The banks have to take on extra risk because they've got to hope you don't default over 50 years rather than 25, 30 or 35 years. So I'd imagine they'll probably charge a higher interest rate. And also you've got the risk of as well of being tied in for that amount of time with that monthly mortgage payment. So I think I'm not keen on it. Not keen on it. Yes, Paul, you can hear me. Excellent. I think you would have to buy at a reasonable young age to do a 50-year mortgage, but I don't feel comfortable that you should leave this onto your children. But retirement age is always moving anyway. Yeah, I think this is what I think. I don't think it's for the 50 years for your life. It's purely to be passed on to your children, so they can still live in the house that you own as long as they pay the mortgage on it. I don't think they're going to do 50-year mortgages for one person or for one person. These are ones that can be inherited by children. Interesting to know what happens if they don't have children and there's no one to pass it on to, whether the bank just takes the property back. I don't know. Thanks, A. Fingers crossed. It took us 9 months to complete the sale of our previous house. Lots of problems with the bottom of the chain of thought. 9 months. Wow. I've still got some sales that were agreed end of November and December, which is what I was telling one of my vendors this morning. So yeah, it's a long old time. Right, guys. So we are gonna leave that there. If you do want to support the channel and leave a super chat or a super sticker, that'd be fantastic. You can always buy me a coffee, which will help rather than water. But thank you so much for joining me. Again, next week we'll do another live stream where you can ask any questions, share your experiences. If there's anything you want me to cover in that video specifically, pop it in the comment section now and I'll pick it up in a minute, or drop me an email, which I forgot to give out earlier, Lee Everett propertyadvice@gmail.com. I can hopefully have some time to research it and give you some answers. But thank you again so much as always for watching, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys, and happy house hunting. And now's the awkward part where I press end broadcast.